好，我们今天很高兴有一个特别的讲员，这位讲员就是我们用的这个美国 Church of Christ 的牧师 Pastor Rick Adsit。我们在这边使用他们的场地，他们非常的热情的接待我们。那么我来了这边亨通以后，很快就认识了Pastor Rick。那么我们就开始有时候交换一下我们读圣经跟或者读一些书籍的一些心得。我很快的发现到 Pastor Rick 他的学识非常的丰富，而且他也读了很多的书，他跟我们的信仰是非常的吻合。那我们今天很高兴能够请到他来跟我们中间来分享神的话语。我们现在就把时间交给 Pastor Rick， 我们欢迎他。You don't need it.
你好。
好。Okay.
Is this on?
No, not yet. Let me see. Yep, it's on now.
Okay. I am so glad to be here.
我非常高兴来到这儿。
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and speak. It's really an honor.
谢谢各位给我的机会，是我的荣幸来跟各位分享。
This is the first time I've been able to speak with a translator. I've seen someone else do it who did it from English to Spanish, but this is the first time I've ever done this.
我过去只有过一次，我用英文有人翻译成那个西班牙，但是第一次我才讲到翻译成中文。
And so I'm hoping for your patience as we work together, as Paul and I work together.
所以请大家包容我们，如果我们配合的不是很好的话。
So with that said, about a month ago, I was doing a series on guarding our hearts.
大概1个月前，我开始一系列的讲道，是关于保守我们的心。
There's a verse in Proverbs 4, verse 23.
在圣经那个箴言第4章34节 ，Just a second, let me turn it there.
Where it says, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of your life.
对不起，这4章23节，你要保守你的心，胜过保守一切，因为一生的果效是由心发出。
And of course, Jesus taught that what comes out of our lives, the words and the deeds that come out of us, flow out of our heart. So it's very important that we guard our heart.
耶稣说，我们心里所想的就从口中流出来，所以很重要的是我们要保守我们的心。
And so there's all kind of enemies, there's all kind of things that can attack our heart, such as anger and guilt and greed and jealousy and many other things that can attack us and can infiltrate our heart and cause us not to be the people that the Lord wants us to be.
我们常常会受到一些攻击在我们的心里面，譬如说我们的愤怒、骄傲等等。
But today, I'd like to switch gears and move in a different direction.
今天我要稍微改变一下我今天要谈的主题。
Today, I'd like for us to think about the heart of God.
我们今天要谈谈什么是上帝的心。
What's God like in His heart?
上帝心里想的是什么呢？
Can we really know anything about the heart of God?
我们真的能够知道他心里所想的吗？
Can we really know what He's like on the inside?
我们真的能够知道他心里所想到的东西吗？
Can we understand what moves Him, what makes Him smile, or what makes Him grieve or saddens Him?
我们能够怎么知道什么驱动他的心呢？什么时候动事情会让他感到高兴？什么时候又让他感到伤心呢？
Can we find or learn what He's passionate about?
我们能够发现到他关切的是什么东西？
Is there some way that we can really find out and know what God is like in His heart?
我们真的有什么办法能够知道上帝的心吗？
If you think about how we know one another,
如果我们想想，我们怎么样彼此能够认识彼此？
It usually takes a while for us to get to know one another.
通常要经过一段时间，我们才能够比较认识一个人。
Usually we get to know someone by the words that they share, and by the deeds that they do, by the way that they do those things. After a while, you can tell what a person's motivation is.
我们通常认识一个人，是从他所说的话，他所做的事情，那经过一段时间，我们就开始比较了解这个人。
And in a similar way, we can know God from the things that He says, from the words that He speaks, and also from the deeds that He does. Not only can we know God from the words that He speaks and the things that He does, we can also know Him from the things He reveals to us in His Word.
同样的，我们要认识上帝心里所想的，我们也要是从他口中所说的话，他所做的事情，从这些方面，我们可以了解上帝的心。
We can listen to God. We can read about His deeds, the things that He's done.
我们可以听他的话，我们可以读他的话语。
And from those words and deeds, we can deduce what's in His heart.
从这些他的话，我们可以知道他心里所想的。
Now, one way we can do this, there's a number of ways we can get to know the heart of God, but one way would be to look at individual passages of Scripture.
有好些方法让我们可以明白神的心，但从其中一个方法就是读他圣经上某一段一段的话语。
And so that's why today I'd like for us to look at a passage of Scripture in Luke chapter 15.
所以我们今天就要这样子做，我们要读路加福音15章。
By this time in Jesus' ministry,
这个15章记载的时候，耶稣已经在世界上做了一段时间的工作。
people were not very well received by the religious leaders, by the Pharisees and teachers of the law.
那当时的那个法利赛人跟文士人们并不太喜欢他们。
The religious leaders, the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the teachers of the law looked down on tax collectors and sinners.
那个当时的宗教领袖，像法利赛人、撒都该人这些人，他们常常看不起一些社会下层人物的人。
They looked at them as being like the scum of the earth, or unacceptable, not being able to associate with them.
他们看这些税吏或者这些其他的人，觉得是社会的败类，觉得看不起他们。
But if you look at the ministry of Jesus, you see that He was willing to associate with the lowest person, with those who were spoken of as being sinners and tax collectors.
但是我们看看耶稣在世界上所做的时候，他常常是跟这些人下流阶层的人物在一起，他常常与他们做朋友。
And maybe with some of us.
也许他也是要跟我们这样子的人做朋友。
But with Jesus, He welcomed these people.
耶稣非常的欢迎这样的人。
He associated with tax collectors and sinners.
他跟税吏、跟罪人在一起。
He even ate with them.
他甚至跟他们一同吃饭。
And there's some significance with Jesus eating with them, because to associate with someone at a meal was considered to make them socially acceptable.
耶稣跟他们吃饭有很重要的意义，因为当他跟他们吃饭的时候，表示说他接纳他们。
So Jesus, in Luke 15,
在路加福音15章，
we read, Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Him.
第1节说，众税吏和罪人都挨近耶稣，要听他讲道。
But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, This man welcomes sinners and eats with them.
法利赛人和文士私下议论说，这个人接待罪人，又同他们吃饭。
Sinners felt welcomed around Jesus.
这些罪人常常就在耶稣的周围。
But the Pharisees, they were speaking among themselves and complaining about Jesus and how He associated with these tax collectors and sinners.
但是这些法利赛人却在彼此之间纷纷议论，说这个耶稣怎么可以跟这些罪人在一起呢？
They probably were saying or thinking to themselves, doesn't Jesus know that that bad companions corrupt good morals?
他们可能心里这么想：难道耶稣不知道跟一些不好的人在一起会让你变坏吗？
Doesn't he know it's dangerous to spend time with tax collectors and sinners because you might become like them?
他难道不知道跟这些税吏跟罪人在一起，他们也有这种危险吗？
To actually eat with someone, to have table fellowship with someone, carries some symbolic weight in early Judaism.
那跟一些人吃饭一起坐席的时候，在犹太人的规矩中间有些重要的意义。
It meant that you accepted them socially. It established a common identity.
是表示说他在社会阶层里面，他接纳他们，跟他们认同。
But the Pharisees were concerned about setting boundaries and drawing lines.
但是这些法利赛人却想的是跟这些罪人、那个税吏划清界限。
As far as they were concerned, they were the holy ones.
他们自以为他们是一些圣洁的人，
They would never associate with someone who was impure.
他们绝对不跟一些他们认为不干净、不高尚的人在一起。
But Jesus, his way was different.
但是耶稣做的事情却不一样。
For Jesus, holiness was not so much a matter of separation.
对耶稣而言，所谓的圣洁，并不是表示与人分离，
and staying away from sinners.
不是与罪人隔离。
Instead, for Jesus, holiness was anything that inhibits full commitment to God who's drawing near.
对耶稣来讲，什么是圣洁？什么是阻拦圣洁呢？就是任何阻拦我们不全身委身于上帝的事情。
He did distance him. Jesus distanced himself from sin, but not from sinners.
耶稣与罪隔离，但是他不与罪人隔离。
And he said in Luke 5:32,
在路加福音5章32节，
I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
我来不是招罪人，乃是我来不是招义人，乃是叫罪人悔改。
So Jesus doesn't stay aloof. He doesn't distance himself, but he welcomes them.
因此，耶稣不与罪人隔开，他甚至欢迎跟他们同在。
So in Luke 15, verse 3,
在15章第3节，
some translations have it worded, which of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them? Jesus begins by responding to their complaining and their muttering with a parable.
在第3节，耶稣就开始用一个比喻，用这个羊的比喻来开始他的教导。
Instead of speaking to them using the Old Testament law,
他没有用旧约的那个律法直接的教导他们，
he addressed them by telling them a story, a parable.
他相反呢，他用一个故事，就是用个比喻来教导。
And by doing this, he opened their eyes to a new understanding of God.
他这样子做是让他们眼睛能够打开，能够明白律法的真正的意思。
So as we listen to the parables of Jesus, we see him opening their eyes to a new understanding of God.
因此，当他用这个比喻教导的时候，这些人他们的眼睛才能够打开，看到上帝真正的意思。
So let's read this first parable that Jesus spoke on that day.
所以我们现在来念他讲的那天他所讲的第一个比喻。
And please remember that as Jesus spoke this parable, both tax collectors and religious leaders were listening to him.
请大家记住，当耶稣讲这个比喻的时候，不只是那个税吏跟罪人在旁边，甚至有法利赛人跟文士都在听众当中。
And as we listen, and I want you to imagine how the tax collectors and sinners heard Jesus. and how the religious leaders heard Jesus as he spoke these parables.
我请大家稍微设身处地啊，这个罪人跟罪吏跟罪人，他们怎么听耶稣？那在这个时候，这些法利赛人跟文士，他们又是怎么样的听到耶稣讲话？
So let's read.
我们一起来念。
Then Jesus told them this parable.
耶稣就用比喻说
Which one of you has 100 sheep
你们
and loses one of them?
你们中间有谁有100只羊失去了一只？
Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it?
不把这99只撇在旷野，去找那失去的羊，直到找着呢？
And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home.
找着了，就欢欢喜喜地扛在肩上，回到家里。
Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep.
就请朋友邻舍来，对他们说：“我失去的羊已经找着了。”
I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent.
你们和我一同快乐吧！我告诉你们，一个罪人悔改，在天上也要这样为他欢喜，比为那99个不用悔改的义人欢喜更大。
Now Jesus speaks here
耶稣在这里讲的，
against a background from the Old Testament.
这里有一个旧约的背景，
In the Old Testament, in Ezekiel chapter 34,
在旧约以西结书34章，
the shepherds of Israel
在那时候以色列中间的牧羊人，
were not taking care of the sheep, the flock of God.
在那些牧羊人其实是比喻这些当时的领袖，他们没有真正的照管当时的以色列人的羊群。
And God's prophet Ezekiel is instructed by God to tell the leaders, the religious leaders, the shepherds of Israel, that he's not pleased with them.
因此，上帝透过先知以西结告诉这些宗教上的领袖，他真的不喜悦他们的所做的事情。
And the reason that God is not pleased with these shepherds in Ezekiel 34 is because they are abusing the sheep.
他所以不喜悦他们，是因为他们对那些羊不善待这些羊群。
And here's how it reads, Ezekiel 34, verse 20 and following.
我们要念以西结书34章从20节开始。
And I'll let Paul just read verse
Okay.
20 to 4.
OK， 我来念20到24节。所以主耶和华如此说：我必在肥羊和瘦羊中间施行判断，因为你们用肩推挤一切瘦弱的，又用脚抵触，以致使他们四散。所以我必拯救我的群羊，不再做掠物。我也必在羊和羊中间施行判断。我必立一牧人照管他们，牧养他们，就是我的仆人大卫。他必牧养他们，做他们的牧人。我耶和华必做他们的上帝。我的仆人大卫必在他们中间作王。这是耶和华说的。
God was not pleased that the shepherds of Israel were pushing the sheep around and flanking them and pushing them around. He was not pleased with it at all.
上帝所以不喜悦这些领袖们，因为他们压迫他们，推开他们。
And so he says he will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd.
因此他说他要另外立一个牧人照管他们，牧养他们，就是他的仆人大卫，他要牧养他们，做他们的牧人。
In other words, God was going to send his own shepherd, and that shepherd is Jesus, and he will no longer abuse the sheep.
换句话说，上帝要派他自己的牧人来，那个牧人就是耶稣，他要来照管羊群。
So in Luke 15,
所以在路加福音15章，
where is the shepherds? Where is Jesus? Where is Jesus? Jesus is with the tax collectors and sinners. He's with the lost sheep of Israel.
所以在15章讲到这个牧羊人，其实就是耶稣自己，他自己要来照管羊群。
And where are the religious leaders?
哪些是这些当时的宗教领袖呢？
They're muttering and complaining about Jesus being with tax collectors and sinners.
就是这些私下议论、纷纷议论这些人是。
So Jesus is like the good shepherd who leaves the 99 in the fold and looks for the one lost sheep that's missing.
耶稣就是那个牧羊人，他把这个99个不用悔改的羊，不知道悔改的羊放在一边，他去寻找那一只羊，失去的羊。
He looks high, he looks low, he looks for a long period of time. He doesn't give up.
他自己，高处去找，低处去找，他四处去找，他花了很多时间要把失去的羊找回来。
He searches and searches until he finds that one lost lamb.
他一再的寻找，直到把这个失去的这个走失的羊找回来为止。
And then the Son of God picks him up and puts him on his shoulders and carries him home.
当他找到，他就把这个羊放在他的肩头上，把这个羊带回家。
He's not muttering and complaining about saving sinners and tax collectors.
他拯救这些罪人，他一点都没有怨言。
Instead, he's ministering to them. He's serving them.
相反的，他服侍他们，他照顾他们。
He's not becoming a sinner himself. He's ministering to them as the Savior of God.
他自己不是罪人，但是他对这些人，他牧养他们。
And when he gets home, he calls for his neighbors and friends and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep."
当他把这个羊带回家的时候，他把他的邻居找来说：“我们一起欢喜快乐吧。”
And he says, "I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent."
他说：“我告诉你们，一个罪人悔改，在天上也是这样为他欢喜，叫比为那99个不用悔改的义人欢喜更大。”
And then Jesus moves on to a second parable.
然后耶稣讲了第二个比喻。
Now, before moving any further,
在我讲第二个比喻之前，
we need to remember
我们要记住一件事情：
that the tax collectors and sinners
这些那个税吏跟罪人，
and the religious leaders are listening to Jesus.
这些宗教的领袖，这些人都在听耶稣讲的比喻。
How do you think the tax collectors and sinners what's going through their mind as they listen to Jesus speak about looking for the one lost sheep?
你想那些税吏跟罪人，当耶稣讲这个比喻的时候，他们心里会怎么想呢？
Perhaps they're thinking, "There's hope for me."
或许他们心里想，这样子我们就有希望了。
And there is hope for them.
的确，他们是有希望的。
So Jesus moves on and tells a second parable.
于是耶稣就继续的讲第二个比喻。
He moves on from speaking about sheep, 100 sheep, 1 in 100 sheep, to 1 in 10 coins.
他第二个比喻，他讲到一个人，他有10块钱，丢了1块。
And so, as we read, Jesus says, or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Does she not light a lamp and sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin." In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents.
第二个比喻是这样说：或是一个妇人有10块钱，若失落1块，岂不点上灯，打扫屋子，细细的找，直到找着了吗？找着了，就请朋友邻舍来，对他们说：我失落的那块钱已经找着了，你们和我一同欢喜吧。我告诉你们，一个罪人悔改，在上帝的使者面前，也是这样为他欢喜。
This woman has lost an important, a significant amount of money, about 1 day's wage.
这个妇人失去了她大概1天的工资。
It meant something to her.
这1块钱工资对她觉得非常的重要，她觉得很重要。
It was important to her.
对她这个很重要。
She needed the coin because it was the money that she would use to support her family for one day.
因为这1块钱可以养活他家里的人一天。
And so she searches the house. She lights a lamp and sweeps the house and searches carefully until she finds it.
因此，他就把灯点上，然后他把屋子打扫干净，然后仔细的去找那1块钱。
You have to remember there was no electric lights.
我们要记着，当时可没有电灯，
The houses were dark inside.
在屋子里面是很黑暗的。
So she lights a lamp.
因为他点上一个油灯，
And similar to the shepherd, she searches high and low and all over the house.
就像那个寻找羊的牧人一样，他仔细的到处去找那1块失去的银钱。
She sweeps the house clean until she finds it.
他把屋子打扫干净，然后仔细的去找那个失去的银钱。
And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me."
当他找到了，他就把他的邻舍找来，我们一同欢喜快乐。
I have found my lost coin.
我找到了那块钱了。
In the same way, I tell you, there's rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents.
耶稣说：“我告诉你们，一个罪人悔改，在上帝的使者面前，也是这样为他欢喜。”
And all this time, the tax collectors and sinners and the religious leaders are listening to Jesus speak these parables.
在这个时候，我们记住那些税吏、罪人以及法利赛人跟文士都在听耶稣讲的比喻。
But now he moves from speaking about sheep and speaking about coins to something really important: people.
他讲了失去的羊、失去的钱，他现在讲到一个非常重要的一件事情，就是人。
So he speaks of a man who had 2 sons.
他说到这个第3个比喻，他说有一个人有2个儿子。
So let me read. Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them.
一个人有2个儿子，小儿子对父亲说：“父亲，请你把我应得的家业分给我。”
This younger son, he can't wait until his father's dead or dies before he asks for his inheritance.
这个小儿子他等不及他父亲过世的时候，就希望把他父亲本来应该是过世的时候分给他那份产业就拿到手上。
It's like the younger boy says, "I know you're still alive, but I want my inheritance now."
就好像是这个小儿子对这个父亲说：“我知道你还活着，但是我还希望我现在就得到你死了以后给我的那份产业。”
I know this is an unusual request,
这是
but I want my inheritance now.
我知道这个要求可能不尽合理，但是我现在就要。
Here's the boy who can't even wait until his father's gone before he wants his inheritance.
这个孩子等不及他父亲过世，就想要得到产业。
And so he says, in essence, cash will be fine because he needed to be able to carry it with him.
他就说，好像是说，给我钱吧，我就要带走了。
I want my share, and I want it now. And I want it in a form I can carry with me.
我现在就要我那一份，我现在就要把这一份东西换成我可以随身带走的。
I've got plans.
我有我的计划。
I want to see the world and live it up.
我要去看看这个美妙的世界。
I've got some. So he has his own selfish ambitions.
因此，他有一些自私的野心。
So he turns his back on his family, his father and his family, and departs for a far country.
于是他就转身离开了他的家，跑到了别的地方去。
So the father gives him his inheritance, and he sets off to a foreign country.
这个父亲把他的那一份給了他，他於是就離家出去了。
Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had and set off for a distant country, a Gentile country, I'm sure. And there he squandered his wealth in wild living.
過了不多幾日，小兒子就把他一切所有的都收拾起來，往遠方去了， 很可能他去到一个外邦人的地方，在那里任意浪费资财。
After he spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need.
既耗尽了一切所有的，又遇着那地方大遭饥荒，就穷苦起来。
So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country,
于是他去投靠那地方的一个人，
who sent him to his fields to feed pigs.
那人打发他到田里去放猪。
He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything.
他恨不得拿猪所吃的豆荚充饥，也没有人给他。
So he wanted to go to a far country.
他去到一个外邦人的地方，
He wanted to go to a place where no one knew him.
他去到一个别人不认识他的地方。
Sometimes people today do this.
我们今天有的时候也是这样做。
Sometimes people today want to go live it up, and they want to go where no one will see them.
我们今天有的人也希望跑到一个没有人知道我们的地方去。
It's like the saying you hear on TV. What they do in Las Vegas, they say we'll stay in Las Vegas.
就好像我们今天在电视上看到有些人跑到拉斯维加斯去那边，
But not really.
但是实际上不是如此。
Because the Lord says, Jesus said, that what's spoken in the inner room will be revealed from the rooftop.
这一个
Jesus said, what is spoken in the inner
okay.
room will be declared from the rooftop.
OK，
or shouted from the rooftop.
因为在神他所有都知道，当我们在暗室里所说的话，将来在房顶上要宣扬出来。
So the people who make the commercials in America, they're wrong.
因此我们在电视上广告的所说的那种事情，可是错误的。
There will be no secrets.
在上帝那边没有什么隐秘的东西。
At some point, everything will be exposed.
到有一天，所有隐秘的事情都要被揭露出来。
So this boy, he goes off thinking he can live a wild life, and he does for a while.
因此，这个小儿子跑到一个别的地方，过着一个放荡的生活，也的确有一段时间他可以过这样的生活。
For a while, there were wild parties.
在这一段时间，他去做很多放荡的那个行为，
Wild sex, drinking, music, feasting, lots of fun, and a lot of laughing, and a lot of spending of money.
他享受这些放荡的性行为，或者是说这个饮酒这些等等这些事情。
But after a while, the money was gone.
但是过了一阵子，他的钱财用完了。
The party was over.
这个宴席的那个 party 的时间已经过去了。
The pleasures had parted, and so did his friends.
他的这些在那个宴席当中所享受的那个愉快，跟他的朋友这个时候都离开他了。
And then to make matters worse, a severe famine suddenly struck the whole country where he fled.
更糟糕的是，就在这个时候，在那个地方开始有一个大的饥荒。
He had shamed himself by hiring himself out and feeding. So he comes to a place where he hires himself out.
所以他不得不放下身段，跑去做一个喂猪的工作。
He hires himself out to a foreigner, a Gentile, and he feeds the man's pigs.
他于是到了一个外邦人的去那边找到一份喂猪的工作。
A shameful thing for a Jewish boy to do.
对一个犹太人讲，这是一个非常羞耻的工作。
And then he suddenly has a moment of clarity.
但是突然他醒悟过来。
It says here in verse 17, when he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death?"
他17节说，他醒悟过来，就说：“我父亲有多少雇工，口粮有余，我倒在这里饿死吗？”
Just go ahead and read down to verse 20.
OK， 我继续念到20节。我要起来到我父亲那里去，向他说：“父亲，我得罪了天，又得罪了你。从今以后，我不配称为你的儿子，把我当作一个雇工吧。”于是起来往他父亲那里去，相离还远，他父亲看见，就动了慈心，跑去抱着他的颈项，连连与他亲嘴。
In a way, we can say that he's come to a moment of clarity.
可以说，这个时候他终于想清楚了。
Now, I need to tell you a story.
我这时候要告诉你一个故事。
When I was 23 years old,
当我23岁的时候，
I'm the oldest of 3 brothers.
我是我父亲3个儿子中间的长子。
My middle brother, I'm the oldest. My middle brother, Roger, he died of throat cancer.
我是长子，我的第一个弟弟叫 Roger， 他死于口腔癌。
But my younger brother, named Danny,
但是我的小弟弟叫做 Danny，
when I was 23 years old,
当我23岁的时候，
he ran away from home.
他离家出走。
He hitchhiked from Atlanta, Georgia, to Daytona, Florida, in the back of a pickup truck.
他从亚特兰大那个搭便车，一直去到那个佛罗里达。
At that time, we had no idea where he was.
我们那个时候不知道他到底去了什么地方。
That was in the days before caller ID. We had no way to trace where he was.
那个时候我们没有电话的 caller ID 这个服务，所以我们不晓得他去了哪里。
The only thing we could think to do was to call the operator, the telephone operator, and to try to trace the area code where he had traveled to.
我们唯一可以做的就是找到电话的接线生，想办法能够找到说他可能去了什么地方。
And the reason we traced the area code is because he called home asking for money, but he wouldn't tell us where he was, so we couldn't give him the money.
我们可以如此做，是因为他到了别的地方，他就打电话来回家要钱，但是不告诉我们他在哪里，所以我们可以从他的打电话那个 area code 里面来大概发现他去到了什么地方。
Looking back at it now, I think that he was hoping that we would come after him.
现在回想一下，说不定他他的小弟弟心里有一种想法，说不定我的家人会找到我。
So my dad, my brother Roger, and I and another gentleman got in a car and drove all night to Daytona, Florida.
因此，我的父亲、我的弟弟 Roger 还有另外一个朋友，4个人就开车到了佛罗里达 Daytona 这个地方。
We got to Daytona, Florida about the time the sun was coming up in the morning.
我们到达 Daytona 的时候，正是太阳出来的时候。
My father and my brother, they were sleepy, so they wanted to get some rest.
我的父亲跟朋友很累，在那边休息。
But I wanted to look for my brother.
但是我到处去找我的弟弟。
So I began to. He had been sleeping on the beach.
他在过去那段时间就睡在海边的海边。
We didn't know for sure he was in Daytona. We were just guessing.
我们并不确定他在 Daytona 这地方，我们只是猜测他也许在那儿。
So I began to walk down the beach, looking at every face I could see to see if I could find my brother.
因此我在那个 Daytona 的海边走来走去，希望找到我这个小弟弟。
I must have walked about a half a mile to about where the boardwalk is.
我差不多走了半里路，我走到一个石头地方，
And I walked around a corner.
我绕过那个地方，
And I almost ran into him.
我差点就撞到我的弟弟。
And I said to my brother, "Don't run. Dad's not mad."
我跟我弟弟说，不要跑，我爸爸并不生你的气，
He just wants you to come home.
他只要你回家。
And so my brother didn't run.
所以我的弟弟并没有跑掉。
And we walked back to the hotel.
我们回到旅馆，
And my dad was glad to see him.
我的父亲看到我弟弟就非常的高兴。
And just like in the parable,
就像我们今天看的第3个比喻，
we didn't kill the fatted calf, but we went to Red Lobster.
我们没有宰了一个肥牛，但我们到 Red Lobster 这个餐厅去。
We went to the beach.
我们去到海边，
We watched the movie Jaws.
我们看了一个电影，那个大白鲨那个电影。
That was when the first movie Jaws first came out.
这是那个大白鲨刚刚开始第一次上演的时候。
We were so glad we had found my brother.
我们找到我们弟弟，我们是真的非常非常高兴找到他。
In some ways, I think that happened, so I could tell this story today.
因为所以我可以告诉你们今天这个比喻。
While my brother was in Florida, he had a moment of clarity.
当我这个小弟弟在佛罗里达的时候，他也有一段时间头脑清醒过来，
Just like the prodigal son,
就像这个浪子一样，这个比喻中的浪子一样。
when he was in the pig pen feeding the pigs,
当他在这个猪圈里面喂猪的时候，
my brother, when he was in Florida,
当我的弟弟在佛罗里达的时候，
became hungry.
他的肚子饿了。
And he got caught stealing in the 7-Eleven store.
他到这个 7-Eleven 那个店里面去偷东西，被人家抓到了。
They didn't arrest him, but they made him mop the floor.
他们没有逮捕他，但是要他那个擦地板。
I think the moment of clarity was beginning to come on him.
也许就在那个时候，他脑筋开始清醒过来。
He also was so hungry that he went to a Morrison's cafeteria.
他有一次实在是太饿了，他跑到一个自助餐厅里面去。
And he went in pretending to be part of a family.
他跟着一群家人，假装是那一群人的这中间的一份子。
And he stuffed himself with every bit of food he could.
因为他跑到那个餐厅里面，他就饱饱的吃了一顿。
And then after he got through eating,
当他吃完了，
he got behind another family and pretended to be with that family and walked out and didn't pay a thing.
他就跟着另外一个家庭，在那个餐厅里面，另外一群跟他们一起出来，让人家以为他是那个家庭的一份子。
And today,
今天，
whenever my brother and I talk about what happened,
每次我跟我的弟弟谈起这件事情的时候，
he swears up and down it's the stupidest thing he ever did.
他说这是我一生做的最愚蠢的一件事情。
You see, there's a lot of people who
各位，
go off on journeys
今天有很多人就像这个浪子或者我的弟弟一样，
similar to the story of the prodigal
就
son.
像这个比喻中这个浪子一样。
The only problem is
但是有一个问题，
oftentimes we take a journey away from our Father in heaven.
但是他们这样走是离开我们天上的父亲的。
But as he looks at us,
但是我们天上的父亲看到我们，
he looks at us with a heart, a seeking heart.
他看我们是带着一颗寻找的心来看我们。
He's pursuing us.
他寻找我们，
He's searching high and low.
他到处的寻找，
He doesn't stop searching
他不停
until he finds the lost sheep.
他就像那个牧羊人一样，他一直找，直到找到那个失去的羊。
So in many, many ways,
在很多方面，
Jesus is telling us what the heart of God is like.
在很多方面，耶稣就在这个比喻中间讲出了上帝的心思。
There's a famous painting
那有一个很有名的油画，
done by Rembrandt.
有一个荷兰一个很有名的画家 Rembrandt， 我不记得他中文叫什么在画。
It's called The Return of the Prodigal Son.
这个画是说浪子回头。
This painting is in the Hermitage in St. Petersburg, Russia.
这幅画今天存在那个俄国的St. Petersburg 那个一个博物馆里面，一个。
There's a gentleman or a Bible scholar by the name of Henry Nouwen.
有一个圣经学者叫做 Henry Nouwen，
He went to St. Petersburg, Russia to look at this painting.
他去到这个圣彼得堡，这个看到这幅画，
In front of the painting, there's 4 chairs.
在这个画里面有4个椅子，
And he went and sat in one of those chairs for 4 hours and observed and just looked at that painting.
他坐在一张椅子上面，在那边看这幅画，看了4个钟头。
And the painting shows the prodigal son,
在这幅画里面有这个浪子，
dirty with one sandal off,
他全身非常的肮脏，
looking worn and tired.
看起来非常的疲倦，非常的憔悴。
His ear is up next to his father's chest.
他的一个耳朵贴在他父亲的胸怀上，
He's listening to his father's heart.
他在听他父亲的心。
And when he listens to his father's heart,
当他看到这个父亲的心，
what he hears
他听到了什么？
is that God has a heart of compassion.
他看到上帝有一个怜悯的心。
So Jesus is telling this story,
因此，耶稣讲了这个比喻，
and the tax collectors and sinners,
这些税吏跟罪人，
as well as the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, are listening.
还有这些文士跟法利赛人都在听耶稣讲的比喻。
So Jesus continues the parable.
因此，耶稣继续讲这个比喻。
When the young boy has a moment of clarity and he begins to think to himself.
当这个小儿子醒悟过来，他就对自己说
He begins to think, how many of his father's hired men have more than enough food to eat? And here I am starving to death.
我父亲有多少雇工，口粮有余，我倒在这里饿死吗？
So he says, I'm going to go back home. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men.
我要起来到我父亲那里去，向他说：父亲，我得罪了天，又得罪了你。从今以后，我不配称为你的儿子，把我当作一个雇工吧。
And he rehearses this story over and over again.
他可能在心里就一直在重复的去练习他要跟他父亲讲的这段话。
But when he gets home, as he goes back home,
但是当他真正回到家的时候，
he's still a long way off.
他离家还远的时候，
But his father is looking for him as he comes over the horizon.
当他还远远的离家还远的时候，他父亲就远远的看到了这儿子回家的孩子。
And when his father sees him, he takes off running after him.
这个父亲就顾不得尊严，跑上前去。
And he's filled with compassion on him. He ran to his son and threw his arms around him and kissed him.
这个父亲就动了看见，就动了慈心，跑去抱着他的景象，连连与他亲嘴。
And the young boy begins to repeat or begins to say what he'd been rehearsing.
这个小儿子这时候就开始，他要讲出他已经练习了很久的这句话，说
Father, I have sinned in heaven sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son.
父亲，我得罪了天，又得罪了你，从今以后，我不配称为你的儿子。
But before the boy can get all the words out, before he can even get all the words out,
但是他没有讲完其他的话之前，
the father says to his servants,
这父亲却这样说
Quick, let's go to Red Lobster.
赶快，我们到 Red Lobster 去大吃一顿。
They says, Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it.
他说：“把那上好的袍子快拿出来给他穿，把戒指戴在他指头上，把鞋穿在他脚上。
Let's have a feast and celebrate.
让我们开一个宴会来彼此来庆祝这件事情。
For the son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they begin to celebrate.
因为我这个儿子是死而复活、失而又得的，他们就快乐起来。
And the whole time,
在
tax collectors and sinners are listening to this story.
当耶稣讲这个比喻的时候，这些税吏跟那个罪人听到，
And I would imagine that they are thinking, there's hope for me.
我才想，他们心里也觉得想啊，这样子我们真的是有希望了。
And I would imagine the Pharisees and the religious teachers
我也可以想象得到，在这个同时，法利赛人跟文士，
hopefully they were convicted for their lack of compassion.
我希望他们这个时候就发现他们是这样子的，没有怜悯。
Hopefully they would see that they had not been the shepherds that they needed to be.
我希望他们看到，他们就像那些没有怜悯的那些牧羊人一样。
But Jesus continues the parable.
但是耶稣继续讲这个比喻，
And this time he's speaking directly to the Pharisees. What he says here applies to them.
他以下要讲的其实是针对这些那个法利赛人跟文士要讲的。
The older son was out in the field.
那时这个大儿子正在田里，
When he when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing.
他回来离家不远，听见作乐跳舞的声音，
So he called one of the servants and asked him, What's going on?
便叫一个仆人来问是什么事。
Your brother has come, he replied,
他的仆人说：“你兄弟回来了，
and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound.
你父亲因为他无灾无病的回来，把肥牛犊宰了。”
But the older brother became angry and refused to go in.
大儿子却生气，不肯进去。
So his father went out and pleaded with him.
他的父亲就出来劝他，
But he answered the father, Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and have never disobeyed your orders.
他对父亲说：“我服侍你这么多多年，从来没有违背过你的命。
Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate
你并没有给我一只山羊羔，叫我和朋友一同快乐，
with my friends.
叫我和朋友一同快乐。
And then this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home and you kill the fatted calf for him.
但你这个儿子和娼妓吞尽了你的产业，他一来了，你倒为他宰了肥牛犊。
My son," the father said,
父亲对他说：“我儿啊，
"you are always with me and everything I have is yours.
你常和我同在，我一切所有的都是你的。
But we had to celebrate and be glad
但是只是我们理当快乐，
because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found."
只是你这个兄弟是死而复活，失而有得的。
Now, if you will notice,
如果你注意到这句话，
where was the older son when his brother came back?
当这个年轻的浪子回头的时候，这个大儿子在哪里？
He wasn't watching with his father.
他并没有看他的父亲，
He didn't have the heart of his father.
他没有他父亲那种心肠，
He was just focused on his duty to his father.
他注意到只是他对父亲的那种责任。
It's possible to be focused on our duty to God. It's possible to look at our relationship with God as a duty, but to have the Father's heart, he should have been looking over the horizon for his brother.
我们有的时候看我们与神的关系，就好像只是一种责任，但是我们却没有看到神的心。
And for the older brother, he was angry. He wasn't happy.
这个大儿子并不快乐，并不对这件事情一点都不高兴，反而生气。
He reminds me of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law. They seemed to distance themselves from tax collectors and sinners, as if they were angry with them.
他让我们看到这些法利赛人跟文士，就像这个大儿子一样，他们生气，他们不愿意跟这些税吏跟罪人在一起。
So he refused to go in and celebrate.
因此，这个大儿子不肯进去。
And just like with the other son, the father is the one who goes out and pleads with him.
就像那个父亲，他去到他小儿子那儿去，
It's the father who's always taken the initiative.
永远是这个父亲他主动的去找。对不起，我好像翻译错，这个跟小儿子一样，这个父亲也主动的去找他的大儿子。
All he can think about is what he's done for the father.
但是这个大儿子所能够想到，就是说他为他父亲做了很多事情。
His view of his service is as if it has earned him something.
他认为他服侍他的父亲，让他值得他得到一些东西。
But we can never earn the grace and kindness of the father.
但是他永远不能够赚得他父亲的那个仁慈跟那个恩典。
All that he blesses us with is a gift.
他要的只是他父亲的礼物。
So at the heart of the father, the heart of the older son is different.
这个大儿子的心是不一样的。
The father rejoices and had to celebrate when this son of his who was lost comes home.
当这个浪子回家的时候，这个父亲是充满欢喜快乐去庆祝他的回来。
In verse 30 it says, "But this son of yours who has squandered your property." He doesn't even refer to him as his brother.
但是这个大儿子，当他看到这件事情，他说：“你这个儿子和娼妓。” 他甚至不愿意说出这个回来的是他的兄弟。
My son, the father said, in verse 31, "You are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate."
但是31节，父亲对他说：“儿啊，你常和我同在，我一切所有的都是你的，我们应当欢喜快乐。”
They had to celebrate
他们要欢喜快乐，
because And be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
他们欢喜快乐的原因是他的兄弟死而复活，失而又得。
Jesus told all three of these parables. The tax collectors and the sinners, the religious leaders were listening as Jesus told them.
耶稣讲的这3个比喻，他的听众都包括了税吏跟罪人，以及文士和法利赛人。
And I imagine
我可以想象，
that the tax collectors and sinners
那些税吏跟罪人
were even more thrilled to spend time with Jesus.
当他们听到耶稣讲的比喻，他们可能甚至更加高兴起来。
Now they know that he not only welcomes them, but he's seeking them.
他不但知道耶稣欢迎他们，甚至他知道耶稣寻找他们。
Now they know that the Father has a heart for them.
他们现在晓得天父对他们是有怎么样的一颗心。
Now they're drawn to him.
他们因此被上帝的爱所吸引。
Jesus is good news.
耶稣就是那个好消息。
But it's possible
但是同样的可能
to think of oneself as being so righteous
但是也可能有的人认为自己是这么的不错，有很好的公义道德。
that our righteousness prevents us
他的公义他自以为的公义和道德
from being like the good shepherd who seeks the lost sheep.
拦阻了他被这个牧人被寻找他。
And so the Pharisees and religious leaders,
这些法利赛人以及宗教的领袖们，
they probably didn't have much to say by this time.
在听完这个3次比喻以后，他们大概没有什么话想说了。
By speaking to them in parables,
耶稣用这个比喻向他们说话。
Jesus was using a new paradigm.
耶稣讲到一个新的一个模式。
He was using the form of a story,
他用一些故事的方式，
which would reveal the heart of God
把上帝的心给启示出来，
in a new and different way.
告诉我们上帝的心是怎么样的不同。
Jesus could have addressed them by referring back to the Old Testament law.
耶稣可以直接用旧约的律法来讲解上帝的心。
But instead, he used a parable to help us understand the nature of God.
然而，他却用了比喻，帮助我们能够明白上帝的心。
And all I have to say is this:
我要说的是，
aren't you glad he did?
你是不是很高兴他如此做呢？
Because this means for you and me
因为这对你我来说，
that God is a God whose heart is full of compassion.
告诉我们说，我们的上帝是一个满有怜悯的上帝。
He's seeking you and me.
他寻找你跟我，
He's welcoming us home,
他欢迎我们回到家。
even when we squandered all the things that God has blessed us with.
虽然我们就像小孩子，要到处浪费他所给我们的。
My prayer is this:
我的祷告是，
that we will never become so self-righteous
我的祷告是我们不要像那个法利赛人变成自以为义，
that we will abuse the lost, missing sheep.
I'm sorry.
That we will abuse the sheep
我们不
instead of caring for them.
我们不要像那些文士跟法利赛人虐待的山羊群，是去善待我们的羊群。
So praise God
我们感谢主，
for giving us this parable, this insight into the nature of God.
给我们这些比喻，给我们看到上帝的心。
I pray that our heart would be like His.
我们盼望我们的心也像他的心一样。
Thank you so much for listening.
谢谢。Thank you.